10 best things to buy, 3 TVs that you may like to consider if you're looking to replace yours. All this is the last decade. Digital has taken off in a very big way.
The time for old world content is gone, and now it's the time for subscriber based content. Based on this only, we had come out with the KJ Masterclass, where we had decided to talk about content, communication, public relations, and a host of issues all related to content and related to just content and the shape of content to come. As part of that KJ Masterclass, about which a promo we had run a few days back, and we had promised to come out with some senior people from the industry, from the area of content and journalism, who could talk about this particular aspect of the changing aspect of content. In the first episode, we have very senior journalist Ashutosh Sinha. He has been part of journalism for a long, long time. He has been a reporter, he has been an editor, he has been an anchor, and you may have seen him also several times on television. Now he advises on the content strategy to a lot of companies. He owns a firm, content firm, and today we would benefit from him and his knowledge on the content part itself. So welcome, sir. Special episode of KJ Masterclass where we'll talk about content and the future of content that we are seeing as of now. So my first question on this particular aspect is that how are you seeing the change in content that's happening in what you are doing at present?
Thank you so much for having me on, Ajay. The first thing to be mentioned and first thing to bring to notice is the way self-publishing in the last decade has taken off. You see a lot of brands, a lot of global brands, a lot of other brands wanting to have their own platform where they can publish stories about the brands, about some of their activities, some of their plans, so that something that is not does not find space in the media, the traditional media as we know it, whether it is print or television or some of it even online, they can publish those stories in those platforms. So that is number one. Besides that, we have also seen subscriber-based content, take off in a very big way. We've seen the rise of something like Substack and a whole host of other similar features which other platforms have. So that's another one. Subscriber-based content works beautifully for people, whether they are CXOs, whether they are industry leaders, thought leaders, even some very senior journalists, whether they want to monetize some of their opinions, their ideas, or maybe even serve as a dipstick for their ideas. So that is another kind, the subscriber-based content. Besides that, you also have, as they say it in the industry, snackable content. Those little pieces, nuggets of information, which you can, populate in terms of text, in terms of video, in terms of digital formats. So that's another way in which content is happening. This is all in addition to the traditional media content, typical news kind of content that happens both in the traditional media in all forms or even on some of those self-publishing platforms. So I'll give you an example. If you take the example of a company like Cisco or a Microsoft, or from India, Flipkart is no more an Indian company. It was an Indian company, but they have something called Flipkart Stories. So all those companies have their own storytelling platforms and storytelling ways where they have small teams which put out stories about them. Now, these could be, so they typically, even the Tata Group does it, sometimes they'll have their own senior people talk about their own plans on their own platform. The advantage that they reach a captive audience of their own, besides their own company people. So there is a bunch of people who'd still like to follow the Tata Group, for example, but it is not open for some of the other traditional media newspapers, whether it's the Economic Times or whichever newspaper, or the television channels as well.
So, sir, how do you see the change happening in the way you have been now on the content side and very, very closely? how do you see the demand shaping up? Earlier, it must have been slightly different, and now you must be seeing that change happening. How do you see that particular part in the work that you are doing nowadays?
Let me give you an example. Uh, in the last decade, we had something like gadget reviews, device reviews, you had listicles, 10 best places to visit, 10 best things to buy, 3 TVs that you may like to consider if you're looking to replace yours. All this is the last decade because digital has taken off in a very big way. So imagine suddenly the reader is inundated with ideas. So which is where somebody who has a following, he comes up. And if he or she can connect with the viewers and tell them about whatever, it's television, it could be mobile phones. Mobile phones are one of the hottest selling items on the e-commerce platforms. And that just reminds me that Amazon has its own way of telling stories.
Right,
So if you're
right.
looking to tell some of these stories, whatever little it adds to your brand, whatever it does for your connect with the consumer, it's a great thing. So suddenly from the content being the monopoly of a few media brands, now it is, so to say, democratization of content, which the user generated content is creating, some brands are creating, and of course the traditional media does exist as well.
So it's the time for new age content like podcasts. Podcasts are coming up heavily, and then, as you
Mhm.
said, independent publishing platforms, which are giving a run for money for a lot of publishing houses. So
Correct.
how do you see that? Means as podcast, for example, you see almost every organization today is trying to get into podcast in some way or the other because that's where the listener is, and without listener has that advantage of listening to what the companies or the what you call the subject has to say without
Mm.
getting too much of disturbance in terms of video as such. Though podcasts are video also many a times.
So podcast is very interesting because of the kind of time it takes. So you could be listening to a podcast, let's say when, well, in current times you don't, but if you're driving to work,
Yeah, absolutely.
you could be listening to podcasts, let's say, while going for an evening walk. At my age, people start doing the evening walks or the morning walks. So you could be listening to podcasts then. You could be listening to podcasts, well, maybe if you're having lunch alone, maybe if you're in an office setting, you could be listening to that or any other time that you can find out. So imagine seeding ideas, putting perspective or putting things in the right perspective. All that is a very good thing to do on podcasts. Or let's say if the numbers for the economy every quarter, every month we have the inflation numbers come, or every quarter we have the growth figures come, the IIP numbers. If those numbers are coming, you will have those details being shared in a podcast. So if I were to give an example, Amit Varma and Vivek Kaul, you could hear their podcasts. So they're very popular.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Amit has been doing this
Yeah,
podcast for something like 3 years or so. And Vivek Kaul
right,
is,
right.
again, a very popular author. So you could be hearing them. You could be
Yeah.
hearing a whole lot of other people. And a lot of the journalists themselves, even within their organizations, they are using podcasts as one of the ways to reach out to an audience. So it is not confined to just brands doing it, but you're seeing podcast being used now, and also to do some industry kind of connect. So if, let's say, an Economic Times has to do an event, some of that could also be going into podcast. There's another thing I'd just like to mention about BBC. So BBC is what they're doing in India. So if you go for a program to record a program, so they record it in a manner that, let's say, you use it for television, the same can be used also on their audio platforms. So BBC Radio. So there is a very concerted effort being made on making content multi-platform usable as well.
Yeah, yeah. So you see, even the numbers for Spotify and all, it's quite encouraging in terms of podcasts from India. Worldwide, also the number of podcasts in the US, it's a good thing that people are able to monetize it. Indians are also heavily now. So I guess in the times to come, podcast will be a good platform for Indians also to monetize those who want to be there. But seeing all these changes now in terms of there's a huge number of people who are employed in the communication and public relations industry, and that's what provides a huge chunk of service to our corporate houses and all. How do you see this new change impacting the communication and the public relations industry as well as the corporate communications thinking within the top organizations also? Now,
Mhm.
how what is the lesson for them and what is the way forward for them? Because things are changing very fast, especially during COVID. Everything has changed so fast from work to home, but the needs of the clients are it has risen, and the demands of communication and the ways the things needs to be communicated to the audience, the target audience, the internal as well as the external, that is something is the big challenge as of now. So how do you see it, and what is the way forward as a very senior content person and journalist from your eyes we would like?
Let me quote what Haresh Chavla, the former CEO of Network 18, had to say. And I loved the choice of his words. He said, 2021 is about the digital reset of India. And I think that in a very few words just about sums up what's happening. In the last few couple of weeks, we've seen, the number of unicorns that have been announced just because of the digital takeoff of their business and the opportunity that it has opened up. But let's talk about the challenges first faced by the communications industry. The segmentation of the media is something that they are now worried about. And well, it's not happened just last week or in 2020, but it has been progressively increasing. So it poses a challenge for them. So if they're looking at a media mix, it's a challenge. How do they make sure that they get their, if I may say so, the OESP model, as they say it in the communications field, how do they get that right? How do they make sure that the earned and shared media part of it is relatively healthy, because that tells you that your brand communication is going the right direction. So segmentation of the media is a big challenge for them. How do we address it? Well, it requires a detailed explanation, but there are ways to address that as well. Besides that, look at the newer opportunities that are coming. There are some low-hanging fruits, as I mentioned, about some of those listicles, some of those user-generated content, and some of that, which is very easy to get and gets you like a few hundred views, a few hundred, or maybe sometimes a little more than that, or a few hundred people listening to them, or a few thousand sometimes. But the core message of the brand needs to carry its weight so that it still focuses on the earned and shared media. So if that part is correct, then the brand is pretty much healthy. But if you have to rely on paid media and pay money for it to be published, so you see that all the time on Twitter or whichever platform, then there is a little bit of a problem. Then that brand needs a little bit of help with the kind of content that it is generating. So, sum and substance of it, that to make sure that you can get your brand at the heart of the action, at the heart of what the consumer or your listener or your viewer is wanting, you need to do some very basic things right. And once that is done, then it's like, I always say it, and if I were to put it in Hindi, probably I'll make my point pretty well. जब आप खाना खा रहे हैं तो आपको रोटी और चावल के अलावा और दाल के अलावा थोड़ा अचार पापड़ और ये सब भी चाहिए. So with that achar and papad, you can do it as the owned and the paid media, but that cannot be central to your brand strategy.
Yeah, and in terms of content also, the PR industry, I've seen it from quite close, is not known to focus too much on content. Some of the agencies, they do it. Some of the corporate communications guys do it. But as such, it's not known to have very strong content people within the organization. Sometimes, or quite sometimes, it is seen that they outsource this work, which is a fine thing. But I guess now with the new time, there has to be a renewed focus on content, because content is not just heavy content, but even just a few words of content would need a great amount of thinking about the sensitivity of a huge of big organizations, as well as about the story that you want to tell. So for that you
Hmm.
need senior people, people who understand it, and it will not be just anybody who would be just coming on in overnight and can understand things. You have to have people who understand the nuance of content, and who can actually bring exactly what you want to say to your target audience. Now, does this how does do you see this? And the time when the traditional media is facing its own challenges in terms of revenues, do you see a huge opportunity for them to contribute to the public relations and the communications industry?
Let me put it first very briefly into in one sentence. I heard, I'm forgetting the name of the gentleman, a former CEO of Reuters, and he said it. We are not as much in the news business as in the business of perspective. So until you
Right.
get your perspective right, news may not always be the right thing that you're presenting. It may not be in the right light, so to say. Now, perspective. How do you get perspective? If you want something just written, that may not give you the right perspective. But if you want something written, keeping some things in mind, something very specific in mind, that here's what it needs to broadly say as a headline, and here are the 3 points that we need to make. It is a matter of detailing. So the devil is in the detail. Until we get to the detail of it, it is not very simple to just produce some content and expect that people are going to read it or watch it.
So should we understand that now is the time for some good content coming up, and there will be traditional media as well as self you can say publishing self publishing platforms, which will give a choice to a lot of people, and who not apart from buying newspaper or seeing television, but will also go for different sort of media called Substack. You can say Patreon to listen to independent artists, and even to independent people who are producing huge amount of content on podcasts and other mediums that are coming up. In fact, yes, some serious stuff is happening even on the side of Twitter. You can say even on the side of other places also. Even Facebook, I guess, is looking towards a publishing platform and for journalists, and a few other places. A lot of changes are happening. So I guess it's the time of content in the coming future.
Yeah, I mean, if I remember correctly, Facebook as well as Twitter are looking at something like Substack, but I can't remember the names. I vaguely remember reading something to that effect. So,
Review. Twitter bought that platform called
okay,
Review.
okay. So I didn't remember the name. So just see the importance of subscriber-driven content. Then that's the importance, and this is where the marketplace comes in. Because if your
Right.
content is liked by people, if your content resonates with people, so the content cannot be that, look, I am brand X, please like and subscribe, until you reach to the heart of the consumer in terms of whatever he or she wants. So if you're doing a cricket, let's say, partnership with IPL is happening now. So if you're partnering with IPL, just putting an interview of an IPL cricketer with your brand or him wearing a t-shirt is not good enough. Your activation has
Right.
to be smart so that your message gets home and people remember it.
Yeah. So much of changes means I'm amazed by the amount of change that's happening. Even a serious professional platform like you can say LinkedIn, they have come out with a tag called what's called creator. So yeah, in some time, I guess it's already started. Some of the people they would be getting a choice to use the creator tag. They would get that choice in the profiles and on their dashboard, if they fit in there, and they can then be promoted by LinkedIn as such. So you see, even on a serious platform like LinkedIn, they are aware of this all these changes happening at present, and the creator part, the passion economy, which you can say, the digital economy. The gone is the day of gig economy where you are dependent, but it's you can say the time of independent creators, independent artists, you can say solo entrepreneurs, and whatever you want to call it. But it's all the times of all the good times for content as such. So I guess with you have answered a lot of questions for our viewers, for our people who want to listen to it. And I guess it's very difficult. We will be keep on getting you more and more on this, because this is going to be a continuing topic. It is very difficult to answer all the questions of content in this one session itself. But I guess as a start, you have really brought forward exactly what the problems are, what the solutions can be. And as you said, if there are more, every individual company will have to have a much more customized approach, strategy towards their content.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And hopefully, brands would want to do things which are probably more directly impacting the consumer, their own consumer, or people, as they say, who they can recruit. So hopefully, you'll hear a lot from them around content, around some of their activation plans.
Very, very well, very well. So on this note, we will end this particular episode of the KJ Masterclass. But this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning, and an earnest attempt to actually talk about the issues, and real issues, in terms of which is part of journalism, which is part of communication, or somewhere in between, whatever one may want to call it. But this is a huge area which needs to be addressed, and I'm sure with these discussions with people like you who are experts in content, this will in the coming days, with this particular whatever episode, it will be a place where people would want to come, add value, as well as get value out of discussions like this. As for people like me, we are just mediums in this whole process. I'm sure the discussions have already started in a lot many forums. This is just one sincere attempt in that, and I'm sure we will get a lot of love from the not only the LinkedIn community on which it will get posted, but other platforms also, where we will try and share it as much as possible. And in the coming days, we'll have more and more from you. Thank you very much, sir. Look forward to seeing you again. Thank you very much.
Thank you.